The Experience Pros Radio Show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a Fan Braggin' story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Braggin' hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show, home of positive business talk. Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to learn something in our next segment.
Eric, we learn something in every segment.
Yes, but we're going to learn something.
We do. I don't know if you do. But we learn something in every segment.
I'm looking forward to our next guest because there's two words that I do not know yet.
What's that?
Now I'm gonna you do your intro and we'll
learn about them. Okay, well, I am excited as well for our next guest. When you think about your home, is it a sanctuary? Are you so excited to return home at the end of the day? As my kids were growing up, I wanted our home to just be this wonderfully nurturing space for them to return to. And our next guest truly wants to give you the home that your family feels healthier and happier in. Our guest is Gordon Huddleston. He's the modern day Frank Lloyd Wright. He's the founder of Huddleston Innovations, a residential design firm specializing in edgeless architecture.
That's the two words.
Are those the words? Edgeless architecture. With more than 20 years of experience and with projects ranging from the hundreds of thousands of dollars to several millions under his belt, he has actually achieved that dream of being the modern day Frank Lloyd Wright. He thrives to deliver results to his clients that are measured in levels of health, happiness, and a sense of being. Gordon Huddleston, welcome to Experience Pros.
Thank you, guys. I'm very happy to be here.
Gordon, very nice to have you on. And let's just address the elephant in the room. What in the world is edgeless architecture, and how do I paint it?
Edgeless architecture is actually something that we came up with back in about 2007 in the midst of the recession. And what it is, it's a series of different techniques and methods to bring the outdoors into the house and bring the indoors out, which makes spaces feel larger and more comfortable than they would typically in walls that have a window in them as opposed to a wall of windows. It's about bringing a lot of natural daylight into the home throughout the day so that you're getting your vitamin D, so to speak, and feeling like you're outside. It's also about rooms that flow together as opposed to rooms that are defined by walls.
All right.
And what that does is really allows the family to come back together. You're able to communicate with one another from space to space without having to walk into another room.
I think I love this. Does an infinity pool fit into that somewhere?
Absolutely.
See? I'm not the brightest bulb in the knife drawer, but I got that one.
Okay, so paint me a picture, modern day Frank Lloyd Wright. What does this look like? What does it feel like if we take a house that traditionally has walls, doors, windows, inside versus outside? How do you transform that? Or do we have to just tear it all down and start from scratch?
No, you don't. Remodeling is actually one of the things that I really enjoy doing for people. It's a matter of treatment inside the house and outside the house. So if you take a typical sliding glass door, you have a different floor treatment on the inside of the house versus on the outside of the house. Your eye tends to stop at that doorway. If you put just the same floor treatment on the outside that you have on the inside, say tile or something along those lines, your eye actually transfers through that wall. So it does make spaces feel much larger than they actually are. You can start with something as simple as a sliding glass door kind of area, or you can make that opening size twice the size that it is and really create that indoor-outdoor feel.
Okay, so what's been your favorite project to work on, Gordon?
Oh, we did a house several years ago down in Colorado Springs that incorporated almost every aspect of edgeless architecture, and stairways that are exterior stairways as well as interior stairways that look like they're going through a glass wall is something that I just think is one of the neatest aspects that we've been able to create. So,
I love this, Gordon. And, it reminds me of not just Frank Lloyd Wright, who, of course, was an amazing architect in and of his own, way ahead of his time. But it also reminds me a little bit of Escher, you know, the illusion created by his drawings.
Exactly. There's a lot of aspects of that are not necessarily intended, but they kind of come about just through the design process. So it's something that's hard to describe verbally, and pictures don't necessarily do it justice. But when you walk into one of these spaces, you really kind of go, wow. And you just feel completely different than you've ever felt when you've walked into a home before.
Well, and that's with anything about Frank Lloyd Wright. It's as you walk through and you experience, it is unlike anything you'd ever experienced before. And so it seems like you have brought that whole thing to full fruition. And isn't that a bummer that the pictures don't do it justice, and even trying to describe it? Because you see it and you want to capture that, and you want to be able to share it with people who can't physically walk through it, but
you don't want to leave.
And you don't want to. That is true. All right. So Gordon, as a result of this edgeless architecture that you have coined, tell me how that changes the family dynamics.
Literally, it's about being in the same spaces at the same time without being all over each other. You know, I grew up in a house where when I sat down to work on my homework, it was me and my dad and my brother and my sister sitting around the dining room table in order to work on that. I think that now in today's era, kids go to their bedrooms to work on their homework. Mom's probably in the kitchen cooking dinner. Dad's maybe in the den doing whatever dad does. And by incorporating all of those spaces together, letting not the kids' bedrooms necessarily, but giving a place for kids to do their homework, mom to be cooking dinner, dad to be doing what he's doing, and they're all in different spaces, but they're not necessarily in a different room, allows conversation to take place. You know, and that's, to me, that communication is the key to making the family unit more solidified, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I was in a breakfast earlier this morning, Gordon, and somebody said they really believe the social media revolution has damaged the nature of the relationships that we have within our family units as well as in our societal units. And I think that what you're trying to do is bring people back into a social connection and using your architecture to draw them in. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a real disconnect right now. Nothing drives me more nutty than going to dinner with a group of friends and having 5 or 6 people sitting around staring at their phones instead of interacting with each other. And so that is one of my intents, is to bring people back to face-to-face conversations and back to just being present with one another as opposed to being stuck in their phone or in their iPad or whatever.
Well, I love how you're taking something like architecture and bringing the family unit back together. I know you have a free ebook you want to offer to our audience, 7 revolutionary aspects of edgeless architecture. Where is the best place to send our audience to follow you?
Well, right now I'm going to send everybody to edgelessinnovations.com. Okay. I'm in the middle of rebranding and changing from Edgeless Innovations to Huddleston Innovations, and that's in the works. But if people want to go to edgelessinnovations.com and schedule a 20-minute consultation or a 20-minute chat and let me know that you heard about this on Experience Pros, I'd be happy to send them a free copy of the book.
All right, so edgelessinnovations.com, edgelessinnovations.com. Schedule your 20-minute chat with Gordon to talk about making your home a healthier and happier environment, and then he will send you a free copy of his ebook.
You'll be thankful that you did. The photos alone on this website are amazing.
Oh, see, you can capture some of it in pictures, which is dynamite. Gordon, a final word of wisdom or thought you'd like to share with our audience today?
Basically just that I'm about creating relationships with people. It's not about, me doing working hard or whatever. It's about getting to know people, getting to know what their wants and their desires are, and seeing what I can do to help them, create the home of their dreams.
Well, you are doing a fantastic job, folks. Go to edgelessinnovations.com. That's Edgeless, EDGELESS innovations.com, and check out the gallery, and then don't forget to sign up for that free complimentary consultation. Gordon Huddleston, thank you for joining us today on Experience Pros.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good to talk with you.
Absolutely. You know, I've always been attracted to modern architecture, and this style speaks to my soul.
It does?
Yeah, it really does.
Like, why?
Because there's angular, and the inside is the outside, and it just feels comfortable. And I love it.
I just love how he's bringing the family back together.
Yeah. Absolutely. Gang, don't go anywhere. More positive business talk just after these messages. You are listening to Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. This is the Experience Pros Radio Network.
You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show, America's home for positive business talk.
KDMT, Denver's Money Talk 1690 AM.